Hey there. Happy Tuesday. Excuse me. Ooh, throat. Oh my gosh. Went to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned. Um, and the weather outside is weathering. Okay. Schools are closed, and all around me, like seems like at least three districts are closed. And I drove with there were a couple of moments where there was no visibility, only a couple, thank goodness, and they didn't last long, thank God. Um, for the most part, there was like times where there was like maybe I could see like three cars ahead of me if there were cars ahead of me. Thank God there were actually really not that many cars ahead of me most of the drive. Um, Yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty out really, but I mean it's kind of like this is winter out here. That's what it does. So, um, it's kind of nice to go out today, so I could remind myself, get my snow driving memory back before it's time to get back to work. And I don't know why I'm talking so loud. I have no idea. I think because I'm sitting a little ways from my desk. But my husband's still out and I don't know, he might be on his way home. But he was asking me how it was out here, and I said, "Well, oh, he just texted me. How long ago? Probably a while ago. Oops. See, I'm not so good with texting. I don't like texting. Hold on, what time is it? Oh yeah, he did that like 40 minutes ago. Nope. Let me just reply, just so he knows. But like, he shouldn't be looking at this now. Nope. Um, I actually was gonna stop at the store on my way home. Oh, that reminds me. I think I left something in the car. Did I? I don't remember. Anyway, um, yeah, it's nasty outside. It's a good day to stay home. I can't believe it. I look out the window and it's just white out. It's just white out, and it's been doing this since like I don't know, like since I got up this morning, and I got up like around 6 o'clock, and it was doing it when I got up. So, and I actually didn't realize it because it was really quiet. Um, and looked outside, and I was like, oh. It's been doing things. I came home from the dentist, and there were 5 more inches of snow on the ground than when I left. And I was there like what I left the house at 9:30. I got back at like what time? I can tell from when I sent that text to my husband. I got back at 11:30. So what's that, like 2 hours? We had 5 more inches. That's kind of, but I mean, the way it's been snowing, that makes sense because it's just been constant, and it just goes from how, I mean, it'll be heavy. It'll goes from heavy to super heavy, and it hasn't done anything but that, which is like seems kind of crazy, but it's not really crazy because that's how it is around here in the winter. That's actually like a normal winter, so. Um, I don't know. But then when I looked at the forecast, it says it's going to be like 37 degrees, like in like 5 days or something like that. I'm like, really? That's kind of weird. I don't know. But anyway, um, I had to stop and drop off a package to be sent back, and stop one other place in that same little mini plaza. And I was going to go to the grocery store because I was thinking about making um, corn chowder, like with, and I like to use imitation crab in it. So it's kind of like a seafood chowder, but not really because I don't go all in. It's more like a corn chowder that I add imitation crab to. But we still have gumbo left that we need to finish up, and I took stuff out to make meatballs because I've had a real craving for meatballs lately. So, um, yeah, so I was like, nah, don't bother. And I have to go out again tomorrow. So, like, if I really wanted to, I could pick that up tomorrow. That's kind of like if I cook something else, my husband's going to eat the new stuff and not eat the old stuff. And I don't like waste. So, as much as possible, I'm going to force him to eat the old stuff because I will eat the same thing for like until it's no longer like able to be eaten, right? When it spoils, it's like I'm not eating it. But if it's still good, I'm going to eat it and keep eating it because I don't like throwing things away, and I don't believe in throwing good food away. It just doesn't make any. That doesn't even sound right coming out my mouth. So, um, oops, did that hook on there? I don't know what I'm gonna do right now, but I wanted to do something to get my mind off of outside and the weather, and I have to do. Um, Actually, while I was waiting in the dentist's office, I did a little bit of reading for work. And I was going to stop by work because my dentist is not that far away from there. But because of how the weather was, and I just kept asking the Lord, should I stop? Should I stop? Because I almost was going to go there and stay for a few hours, maybe until the snow kind of let up a little bit and then head out. But this is too unpredictable. And I figured, it seems like it's better off that I just go home. And so that's what I did. So I want to color. I don't want to just keep running my mouth. I've been running my mouth for almost 7 minutes now. Like really, really. Didn't see anybody else on, so I just I don't know. That's another reason I decided to come on. It's like okay, if nobody else is on, I'll just like come on and I know people are going to be on later. I know Foxy's coming on later. Martha Makes Art is going to have a live later. So oh, look how cute. It's a Labradoodle. Or maybe it's a poodle. I don't know. My friend that lives in Florida, she has a Labradoodle. And when I went to visit her, like she still had to work for some of those days. And so it's just me and the Labradoodle. Of course, I spoiled the dog. And I would let him lie on the bed with me, not on the sheet part, but the top part with a comforter or a spread or whatever it was, and I would tell him, "Don't tell your mother. It's our secret." That's what we do. My husband and I, we go around and spoil pets. That's what we do. Hey, Jean, nice to see you. Congratulations on your is it 1K? And I didn't say anything in that live before. I sometimes I try not to talk too much, believe it or not, or chat too much in people's lives because I don't want to disrupt whatever conversation is going on or whatever. Um, and I don't think I got to. Oh, I think because you were talking with, is it Joan about going live and coming on your live and her getting more subscribers, and I didn't want to interrupt that whole conversation, so I was like, just keep quiet, Linda. You'll have a chance. Um, so first, a little coloring progress. I've been working a little bit on this one. That yellow is really yellowing, but I'm gonna dim it out. It's like I don't know why it's so bright, but I'm working on it. And what happened there? Or is that on the? I don't know. I see these two things there, and I'm like, what is that? Wondering if it um faded from this side of the page. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, worked a little bit more on that. Um, Last night with the pens that I got from Jill's Comfort Zone. Should I say pens, markers? These, I don't know. My brain's fried. I'm still seeing white. Okay, like I was just driving in white, and you know what? The strangest thing is they had not plowed at all out here. The closer I got to my house, like the road that my house is on, they had not plowed, and I was like, "This is weird. This is really weird." Um, if they plowed, they must have done it like really early this morning. But like, I heard no plows early this morning because a lot of times it will wake me up, and I heard none in the middle of the night. There was a lot of snow on the ground, and yeah, it was weird because I'm used to our roads being plowed well. Um, and like I say, like kind of I prefer kind of driving on the snow rather than like ice or whatever. But it was to the point, and it's so cold that people driving over it kind of turns some of that snow to ice at a certain point, and or it gets a kind of slipperiness to it that it wouldn't if it weren't as cold. And yeah, I have a Subaru Sport. I love that thing. So in all worst case scenario, I'll put it in sport mode and go down, shift gears, um, to keep myself from going too fast or sliding or slipping or whatever. But yeah, I was kind of thrown by there being so much snow on the ground because I think it seemed like there was like 6 inches of snow on the ground, and I was like, this is really strange for out here that they, I don't know, it was weird. I'll get over it though, but I'm having a hard time getting over it, as you can see. First snow I'm driving in of the season, I get kind of weirded out a little bit, and I got to remember. Um, I'm glad I was there because I keep missing people's lives, and I had gone into one of your lives, but like I got in there just as it was ending, and I was like, oh shucks. Um, so I was so glad to make that one. Just like I said, I wasn't gonna let go. I was hanging on like a pit bull. I wasn't gonna let go. Um, I'm gonna be working Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I'm not sure. There's like some additional hours, like from home. Excuse me, that I think I'm gonna put myself on the map, for or the schedule, so that if anybody else wants to talk to me or whatever, they'll have that time. So that there'll be that too. But I haven't figured out yet what I'm gonna do with that. So, but I'll be gone from the house on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, which is kind of nice to just have 2 days instead of three is nice. So, um, so this, um, oh yeah, and like I get home, I don't know what time I'm gonna leave the house. Of course, it depends on the weather too, but probably leave like around 10 a.m. and then I probably won't get home till around between 4:30 and 5, I think. So kind of a long-ish day. Okay, where am I? But it's only 2 days a week as opposed. Although like that 2 days is like back to back and like just grind. But I have 3 days to kind of do other stuff, which is nice. I haven't had that in like I think in like a year, and my house shows it because like I couldn't keep up with things in the house being gone 3 days a week. Um, so I've been playing around with my new things here that I have. Um, and I was really getting into those quick sticks. I actually like, um, maybe I should start, I don't know. I can show you that in a little bit. But I'm trying to figure out what do these do? What can I use them with? Um, like as far as water or Gamsol, or blending with my finger or a tool, how do they work with all that kind of stuff? And I know I probably could use a swatch sheet to do that, but like, I don't know. That seems too much like work. So, I used the pens that I got from Jill, um, last night because I wanted to see, okay, well, how do these work? What will they do for me? Can I get certain, what can I do? And so I used it on here to make the pink in particular. And I think I don't know if I may have used a little bit of the orange too to get some of the colors in here to pop. And so, like, I outlined, like, with the pink, and you probably can't see it that good. I don't know if I can get better lighting or not. Hold on. Sorry. Close your eyes, because I think this does, like, a flash or something when it's on the screen. So close your eyes for a little bit. I'll tell you when you can open if you happen to be watching on a replay or something. I'll let you know when you can reopen your eyes, because I'm going to turn this light on. Is it on? Okay. You can open your eyes. So I need this thing to go over more, but I don't know how to do that. Anyway, so like I don't know if you can tell, like in here, I lined it with the ZR acrylic markers to get kind of the pink to stand out a little bit. Because my problem with this page was that the colors were looking so dull. Even though they're like really crazy colors, that they're kind of bright, but it was still kind of looking dull. And so I thought, well, how do I get things to stand out on here more? So I used the pink marker from these. I think I used some of the orange too, but I can't remember exactly where. And then I also used the U.S. Art Supply Super Crayons, these, because I hadn't used these yet. So I used some of these too. I used the orange, and I used yellow, and I used the gold to get some of the little unidentified Kirby objects to pop more. And I think it worked. As I look at it now, it looks more vibrant than it did before I did that. I used some of the brown to, and I had to be careful because the tips on those super crayons, they're still kind of blunt. They're not sharp tipped. But I used some of the brown, and I really liked how it turned out. Like, I used some in there. I love that because I feel like it gives the picture more depth. So I kept trying to do that in certain spots, but I had to be careful because they are blunt tipped or whatever. And so I did it there. Sorry, I'm trying to make it so you can kind of see it, but let's see. So you can see how defined that is there. And it's like I want more of that in certain places. And I'm even thinking of how can I use that, make it dark like that in certain places so that it almost forms like a pattern of some kind or a trail, kind of like winding or whatever, where you can follow it with your eye. So I did like over here, I did in that spot. I did a little bit on the bottle itself. I did the envelope. Where's the envelope? And the envelope, I did that. I did over here, and that wasn't too successful. It looks kind of like smeary. You can see that. It was kind of smeary, but I was like, okay, we can fix that later. But again, I was trying to deal with that blunt tip on them. So, and then once I did that, and like I put orange in up here, I used the orange. I actually went in and did some orange on the tiger coming out from the tiger, and that brightened that up too. Yeah, so I kind of like that effect. I think I used another color that's kind of like a peachish color to bring out that other shade of orange or peach or whatever that I have in here. All these weird colors that I came up with in here. See, this is why I'm trying to find another solution for a camera, is because I have a big book like this and it just doesn't, let me see. I need a book. I got plenty of books, but I need the right book. Or I can use these markers. How about that? Okay, slide it under the... It's a whole mess. Ugh. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could clean today and organize, but like, Lord, that's too much like work after driving. Like, it was work. I was thinking of doing laundry today, which I'm probably going to do, but yeah, I just kind of needed to chill from the drive. Okay, so yeah, so that's one thing I did to try out, and I also have been trying to figure out, okay, can I go over the super crayons with a pencil? Was another thing that I was kind of trying to play around with in here. I don't know the answer to that yet, absolutely. Kind of seems like it's something that you don't want to do, but yeah, so I'm still experimenting with that because I feel like I want to be able to look at a coloring page and know from the type of paper it is on um what tools I can use. And then from that, then I can decide, okay, now what do I want to do with it? What colors, whatever, whatever. But because I don't know all these tools very well, it takes me a lot more thought and a lot more trial and error to work on them. So, and I'm trying to learn, so it's not that much as much of a struggle in figuring that thing out. So, I kind of had wanted to use those US Art crayons on this page, particularly on this side of it, but they don't have the right color for me, so I gotta take the slow road again. I'm working on this, much to my dismay. But, so let's see, I think that's the only thing I did in here. Yeah, so I'm kind of in a discovery mode with the new coloring mediums I have. Which in a way is kind of a drag because it's not straight up just coloring, but I'm not going to know how to use them until I start trying to use them. Okay, so then this page, and like, you feel it. I started using I use the quick sticks on this page again, trying to figure out, okay, what does it do? And now this side is kind of ruffled up. I kind of, roughed up the paper from water because I was trying to get it to be, trying to see, like, is this water soluble? Like, really, like, Linda, couldn't you have just used like a scrapbook page or a page from your sketchbook? That would make too much sense, right? Oh. But gradually I figured it out, like how, like, applying it and using the water and the brush on there. And actually up here, I actually also tried to use Gamsol. And it didn't seem to like that too much. So that kind of tells me that I need to use the quick sticks with water. Something that did work well with this, worked really well with this for me, was actually just putting the brush on the stick, and putting a wet brush on the stick and then applying it and kind of dabbing or whatever. That worked really well. So that kind of tells me the combination of things is when I apply this to kind of like, you know, kind of got to dab lightly or whatever, or I don't know. I got to figure out my technique with that and then apply water. And then also to apply water to the brush and just put it right on the tempera stick and do it that way. But I can cover this up. I'll figure out a way to cover this up. This wasn't really my most favorite book anyway, so that's why I was willing to try it on here. instead of somewhere else. And this needed a background, so I'll probably just add more to this. I don't know, and I may even like, I don't know, go in and use a Marabou art crayon or something else on top of this, and it'll cover up that craziness. I don't know. We'll see. I just want to play. So that's one thing I did. I went on again in this book and I saw this page and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to finish this. This page. I can't see it too well, but all these double pages, but I need to finish this page. But I wasn't in the mood to do that last night. I had to do butterflies and I had to think more about all of that. But in this corner is my first experiment with Prismacolors and Gamsol, by the way. That's how I figured out what it did. But so let's see, where am I? Thought about doing something with this page. I love this page. I need to do something with the background, but I don't know what I want to do with it. So it's still like this. I don't like this page. I thought about experimenting with this one, but no, I don't even like it. I don't even like it enough to experiment with it. So I have this page. This is what I did because I wanted to test out the white quick sticks. I actually got the white one right here because it won't fit in the box I put the rest of them in. You see, well, how white is the white and how does it apply? And it's kind of hard. Can you see it? It's like, how do you know when you miss the spot? There is a slight difference in the texture and how it looks. I used the white and the pink, and I like how that happened. That was like a happy accident there that happened, where it's kind of like darker pink in the middle, lighter pink on the outside. I used water. It was really dark pink in the middle, and then I used a brush, with water on it to kind of push the color out a little bit, move it a little bit, and that turned out really nice. I like that, so I'm not touching that part. And I dabbed some of the excess on his nose because from what I had in there was some on the brush. I used that to do his nose. That was about as far as I wanted to go with that because, again, I was trying to see how do these work? How do these mediums, these new to me mediums work? Hey, Mandy. Happy Tuesday. So that was another thing I did. That was as far as I went. In there. And let's see, I think the Color Morphia page was the one I did the most with. Yeah. And I think that was it. That's all I've done since, I don't know, last night. So, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I really do just want to color, but then I also feel like there's things I need to learn first. I have these new things stuck in my head now where I want to learn how to use them, and that takes time. So I just want to pick a page to color. But something that's really up there on my list is I need to get out the King Art gel crayons and see how they work. I don't know, because you know how sometimes things will be named the same thing, but then they actually will work differently. Yeah, so that yeah, I don't know. I know I think too hard. I wonder if I use how would the gel crayons be on here? There's a thought. Different paper. I have regular crayons on here. Oops, I forgot to do his tooth. I didn't do his tooth. Man, it just amazes me. Every time I look outside, it's white out. And it's funny because I looked on AccuWeather because I do that sometimes to figure out, okay, when's the best time for me to leave? So I'll look at the radar, and Every time I look, it says, like earlier when I planned on what time to leave the house this morning, it said expected snow expected to stop in 52 minutes. I said, good, okay, that's about the time I gotta leave the house. Well, it didn't stop. The snow did not stop. And so now when I looked at it again, it says snow, it just says snow expected to continue for the next 52 minutes. I'm like, okay, that reads a little better because that's probably what it's going to be doing for the next 5 52 minutes. Not just not just the first 52, 5 52s. Oh, it's almost 1 o'clock. It's like he's like halfway gone. Okay, so let's just color and stop talking. Stop talking and color. And I think this looks more like, or do I want to use salmon? Or not salmon. Sea green, not salmon. Ooh, I think I need another coffee fix, but I can wait until after I'm off of here. So I got my teeth cleaned, which is always nice. And I have a new dental hygienist. This is the second time I've been to her. She's new to the practice. There's a lot of new people to the practice because that one knucklehead dentist that didn't tell me I had a tooth that was split in 3 parts, even after seeing the X-ray, even after hearing me tell him what my problems were, should have had some indication that something was going on, but nah. But anyway, he's been long gone now, and there's a new dentist, and she happens to be female and older, and this is my second time seeing her, and also the hygienist is new too. It's my second time seeing her, and she's got, oh, that's kind of dark. Huh? What can I do with it? Kind of want some of that to show through. Kind of like, what do you call it, batik or whatever I think it's called. Kind of want it to show through like that because I wasn't about to color all them little things in there. Nope, nope, not about that tiny coloring life for the most part. And underneath this, what this is these are the Crayola washable crayons. I use that, and then I think I use Gamsol to kind of blend it, and it's like really smooth. It made it like really super smooth and spread the color. So this is kind of dark for that, but like I'm not mad at it. I don't know what I'm gonna do on top of this, if anything. I don't know, but I just felt like going this way. Kind of experiment. I don't know. I might use a black acrylic marker and follow the lines that are in there. That might be interesting. Just to do something different. I guess this is all a part of my, kind of transform a coloring page effort. That's There's all these kind of things that are always in the back of my mind, and I don't really realize that I'm working in that mode when I'm working on something until like right now I'm starting to think about it. It's like, oh yeah, that must be what I'm doing. I don't know. I have to think so hard for things for work that like I don't. When it comes to like coloring and art things, it's like no, I don't want to think. I just want to do. I don't want to think. You can clean up the edge later. I want that to be blended in a little bit more. So there were some things like those stickers that I got. speaking of thinking of things too much, um, that we're supposed to come today, I kind of knew better. It says, yeah, I know you're saying overnight, but I don't think you're coming overnight. I don't think that's happening. And that's okay. Because in this weather, mm-mm, I don't think they can. Our porch is like filled up with snow at this point. They can't leave it on the porch because they can't get to the porch. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to have to do to open the front door, to be honest. Because with the way the wind blows sometimes and the way it seems like it was blowing last night and today, it's blown the snow up to the door. So, well, we go out the side door, when we leave the house rather than the front door. So that's no big deal there. But been thinking of it, I would have. I mean, I feel like we should have a shovel in the house. I mean, it almost sounds like too obvious for words. But I always have to remind my husband to do that. Can you please bring a shovel for me to put like somewhere in the broom closet or something so that like we don't have to go outside to shovel the porch? Too much like right. Things that I would do if I were by myself, because it just, I don't know. And it just seems easy rather than, have to get up, get your coffee, and go right out and get dressed and go outside. You gotta go out in the snow to get to the things to clear the snow. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I'll put on a pair of boots and a coat over my robe and shovel the porch. Done. Don't even think about it no more. I don't know what. I kind of want to leave that lighter. I don't know if I'll change my mind later. Hey, Annie. Happy Tuesday. Tell you one thing. I had on the right boots today. I don't usually do this, but I wore the first pair of boots that were out for me to wear. Um, and they come up to like my knees, and I put those on, and I just said, just put them over your pants, put them over your jeans, because I don't know, there's snow out there. You don't want anything getting your pants wet and all that nonsense. So it was a good thing I did that because there's a heck of a lot of snow out there. I always feel like that looks so goofy, but hey, goofy worked today. We ain't trying to be cute. We're trying to be warm. Okay, I don't know which one. Is there darker blue in here? Yeah, light blue and a dark blue. I think. I don't know which one I want to use. Dark blue, light blue, dark blue, light blue. I'm gonna use dark blue here. These are like butter. Jesus, he home? He texted me like. I might have to text him and say, "You home?" It's like, because actually, I don't know. He might be getting right on the tractor to get rid of snow. Because even though it's still coming down, the amount of it that's coming down, it's kind of like, well, even if even if it fills up while you're um, plowing, it's still going to be less than it would have been if you hadn't. You know, it's kind of looking like that kind of snowfall today. Don't wait till it's finished. Just get on top of it. It's kind of exciting though when we have a snowstorm, lake effect event. I came home, came through the door, and I was like, oh, no fur babies waiting for me. But then I was like, well, then again, too, no fur babies that like I actually have to go out and go to, get ready and go to the vet for either. So I was like, look at it that way. Look at it that way. Because, yeah, I've done that. Had to drive out in cacao weather with a pet. In particular, because one of them would get poop stuck in his butt. His cute self. Oh, yeah, he's home. I just heard the door. That's good. Have to hear his commentary on the roads because, I don't know, just doesn't seem like they kept up with him. Not like they usually do. I don't know what happened. Either way, we'll get where we're going, but my fingertips are blue and green. Let me pause for a second and go check on him. And get my coffee. Ooh, that's pretty. Pretty colors. Yeah. Let me mute. I'll be right back. I'm going to give you some music. Hopefully, it won't be too loud. I don't know what that music was. I was listening as I got closer. I'm like, what the heck is that playing? Okay, so sorry, it was had to get an update and all this other kind of stuff um because probably normally like on a day like today, my husband would have taken me to the you know dentist because of the weather. But he actually had to take his niece to the ER because she called and she was not feeling well, and so I was getting an update on that too. And now I'm thinking I think I'm gonna make her some soup today for him to take over there to her. She's got the flu, but she thought she might have pneumonia or something, but she really was feeling bad. And she really has to be feeling bad for her to, she's like Miss Independent, so she really had to be feeling bad to ask us for help. So I don't know. I gotta think of. That kind of makes me wish I had stopped by the grocery store, but I didn't. I don't know. I just asked my husband what you got there to eat. Particularly things that are gonna make you healthy. And he didn't really know. He's like, well, she's got Gatorade. I'm like, okay, that's good. To stay hydrated because she needs that. And I'm thinking of making her a pot of chicken soup so she doesn't have to think about anything but just getting better. Because that's what I do. That's what I would do for myself especially when I was single and I was sick. I had a whole protocol of everything that I would do, and one of them was okay. If you don't have the fixings, you get the fixings. Make yourself a huge pot of chicken soup. That's what you're eating for the rest of the week until you get better. I have orange juice, ginger ale, and make sure in the soup I have things like turmeric and fresh parsley, all those kind of things to reduce inflammation, thin up the phlegm, all those things. So we have to make her a pot. I don't think I have any because I've been trying to reduce the contents of my freezer. I don't have, like the stashes in there like I used to. And I just used up all the chicken. I think I did. Used up all the chicken we had when I fried chicken that time. And I haven't really been buying any more because I didn't want to load up the freezer. I'm trying to get it downsized so I can actually kind of reorganize and rethink our food. I really need. I hate to think that she's sick though, poor baby. Okay. And then my husband told me that he actually he looked at me, he was like what with these big eyes, he goes he said he was actually here for a while, and he said he actually had to um take a what do you call it? I can't remember what you call it. I don't know, long handled like brush thing, whatever, like what we clean our car with. But we have some that are like really long and will extend all the way over to the other side of your car. It's like real heavy duty, and he had to take one of those and go underneath my car and push the snow off the underside of my car So yeah, they hadn't plowed because for my car to have snow impacted underneath it like that, yeah, they hadn't plowed. And I just was feeling like this is like kind of weird, but you just keep driving. So there was snow all up to, you know, the bottom of my car that I was just driving through. Just kind of okay, that's kind of, well, maybe second time that's happened, and not out here, and not with that car. First time with that car. So I said I have a Subaru, so it's kind of low. It lays kind of low on the ground. Um, they ain't tailor made, but one time, like when I first got to this area, when I first moved here, I had like a, a little Dodge Neon. That was fine for where I lived before this, but the amount of snow that we would get there. But here was a whole nother story. And I was driving to a nearby city, and in the one of the main intersections, it's like a small city, but it's considered a city. In one of the main intersections, I was the plow, and there was like 3 feet of snow. That was an experience. And there's one for Dodge because that vehicle went through it. But that was crazy. I did not expect to be a plow in a Dodge Neon. And that's like the city that, like, if we don't get dumped on, chances they are one of three places, including us. Okay, if it's not us, it's either going to dump on them, or it's going to dump on the place that's more east of us. And sometimes it's like it's us or them. And I think this time it's us for sure. Because it's still snowing. And I guess we're up to like 8 inches now. Now, this isn't exactly the color I wanted, but you might be able to tweak it, I think. Yeah, so my husband had to shove all that snow from underneath my car in the garage, because it's sitting in the garage. And then he had to kind of, I don't know, he must have backed my car out or something, and then swept all that snow out of the garage. I don't know who's on plow duty, but they need to step up their game. Not everybody has a high profile vehicle. I love my little Subaru. I do. That's what happens. It's like stickers. Ooh, alcohol markers. Oh, well, look at that. Oh, this is what happens. We do this to each other. I'm telling you. I think they still have. I don't know. I don't think anybody's delivering anything today. I wouldn't want them to. This. There's nowhere for them to leave it. Like, I don't even know what to say. You can't walk up on a porch. My husband, he hasn't started clearing the snow yet. He's like, I'm just gonna wait until it eases up. We don't know when it's going to ease up because it's lake effect. It could not ease up until tomorrow. That has happened. We had one time where I guess I don't know if it's ever happened like that here before, not in this century. We got 7 feet in like what was it, like 2 days or a day and a half? 7 feet of snow. And even saying that, I sound like it sounds insane, but that happened. I don't want it to happen again, I'll tell you that much. That was one time when then people did have to be concerned about the snow, even though, like, usually, like, when we know we're going to get a lot of snow like that, close things down, stay home. That's it. Unless you're an emergency worker. But in that case, we had situations where people's roofs were caving in because they had 7 feet of snow, not just 4 feet, not just 3 feet, but 7 feet. That's like, I can't. 7 feet of snow sitting on top of your house. Yeah, people had roofs caving in, and then there was this big, all of a sudden, this big thing on roof rakes, things that most of us had never heard of before. A roof rake? Well, now they're a thing, because after that, people's roofs caving in from the snow, it became a thing. It's like, oh, yeah, that was crazy. I didn't like that. Our roof didn't cave in, thank God, but that's not fun. Did see the roof cave in, or yeah, I did see the roof cave in on somebody when I was at a job in my hometown. And I told that story. It happened to somebody who wasn't that nice either. The roof caved in right over her desk. And it left a hole, all the snow right on top of her entire desk. It, um, it's kind of like you say, "Oh my gosh," and then you laugh, and then you're like, "Oops, oh my gosh." It's like maybe God's trying to tell you something. But not nice though. I did run to help her because even though she was mean to me, I don't know what I want this in it. I kind of want to change that pink a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? This might be. You never know when we're getting one of those epic snowfalls. We don't know until after. Sometimes after it happens. And a buffalo's getting it too right now from Lake Erie. At least they're not getting a double whammy. I don't think they're getting a double whammy from Erie and Ontario. Sucks when that happens. Sucks for them. I don't know why I just did that. That's goofy. I don't know why I did that. Oh well. Except I do kind of want to cover up this purple I did because I don't like that. Is it covering yet? So we didn't do the purple yet. I want to leave that lighter. I think I need to take some of this off of my finger. So I don't know. I'm going to have to... Let's see. Let's use some white. See what that does. So I do still have my tomato soup. I didn't eat any of the tomato soup that I made yesterday. Well, what started out to be, thought it was going to be sauce, and I made it into soup. So that's probably going to be dinner. And I didn't stop. I was thinking about, getting sourdough bread. I can't say that word. Bread yesterday to like make grilled cheese, but nah, didn't. I don't think it's that important. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Let's see what this white does. It just is so quiet. I think it's because like no traffic on the road. Not that there's a lot of traffic on the road, but it just seems like exceptionally. I don't know. It seems exceptionally quiet. No birds. All the birds hunkered down. They're like, we'll come out when it's, when this subsides. I gotta do something with that. Oh, must have made it worse, I think. Oops. Ooh, is it smeared a little bit on there? Didn't even seem like it was that windy last night, or even right now. Doesn't seem to be that windy. It's just the snow coming down. It's just so quiet. It's a good time to just sit in the sunroom and just look outside, watch the snow coming down. This is when I miss having bird feeders. But we had to like stop that because there are, I don't know, rats and mice have seemed to, I think it happened like with COVID, that when all the restaurants and stuff shut down, that rats started like moving out to other places, and so we can't keep a feeder anymore because that's what's going to wind up coming to it. Ugh, don't want that. And that's what I need. That's why I started searching. I started searching Google. What critters eat rats? I think foxes are. Foxes aren't carnivores, I don't think. I know we have foxes around here. Might have to pray for them to, I don't know, turn into an omnivore. No country life. And this is when I realized how much we benefited from having so many dogs around. Because that took care of anything like that. All them wild things took care of the other wild things. But then they also took care of the wild things that we liked having around, too, which birds. Now we have a mink. Wonder where she's hiding out. So I'm gonna have to figure out what pen will go over this stuff. So that's gonna be another experiment. So I wonder, since my husband saw that snow underneath my car, would that be possibly? Oops. See, God said, Linda, stop thinking about it. Stop it. I messed up. But I kind of, even though I really love my car, because it's so old, I mean, it still works fine. So there's no problem there. But it's like, because of things with my eye condition that I have, um, there are things on the newer cars that actually would help me with that, um, in driving. And so, and then the fact that I'm the one that's the most tech savvy too. And so my car is too old to have all this, it doesn't have all the tech stuff that cars have in them now. And so I really, if I could get that tech stuff in my car that I have now, I would be happy. I wouldn't mind it. I'd like that. But that's not really possible. Also, to what, I thought I wanted to use the other purple, but I'm going to stay with this one. I'm feeling the need of having, again, because of things with my eyesight, I'm feeling the need to be higher off the ground now, just because when, I might as well just say I have glaucoma, and so my eyes are really sensitive to people's headlights, especially those LED lights, and it actually will totally blind me when I'm driving at night. So I just don't drive at night anymore. For the past 3 years, 3 years, yeah, about 3 years. I don't drive at night anymore because I get totally blinded. I can't see anything, but I just see white. It's like the whole thing just reflects off of the lens of my eye, and that's all I see. No outlines, no nothing, just total white. And it takes a while for my eyes to adjust back so that I see, actually see. And if I can have my car up high enough where people's lights don't hit my eyes at that level, and I can avert it better, I would be able to drive at night. And I think that perhaps, I don't know for sure, but I think that perhaps a higher profile vehicle would give me that. And that's the only reason why I would want a higher profile vehicle. So those are reasons why I actually would want a new car, but I don't want a new car bill. And I know my husband doesn't either. But I don't like being able to not do things at night. To not being able to go out and do things at night. Jeez, I went over the line. That's the problem with the blunt end on these, is that I gotta kind of try and maneuver. And that's sometimes why I think I don't sharpen my pencils. I think it's a skill to be able to do certain um, color certain shapes or around certain shapes with a blunt tip. I see it as a skill. And it's a skill that actually for this is very helpful, because there's no way you're going to get this to a sharp point. Now, I don't know what to do with this part. I don't want to color. I don't really want to color it in because I feel like I want to put something else in there, but I don't know what that something else is. I suspect it's like a metallic marker, but I probably should use a Q-tip for this. But of course, I'm not doing it because I don't even listen to myself like I should. I actually been watching someone on YouTube for, wow, how long? For a few years. I don't even know how long. I don't know. Watching her kids grow up and everything. But I've been watching her on YouTube, and she actually had like all of a sudden, like, this was not like, what her channel was about. All of a sudden, she's had a health crisis, and she came out recently and said, talked about what it is, and actually she has glaucoma, but hers was induced by some autoimmune situation that, like, it's almost like they don't even know precisely what caused it. With mine, it's just like, because they don't really, glaucoma can happen from several different things, but in general, like, the reason why your eye doctors always check for it is because people with dark eyes have a tendency to, we're the ones who are prone to getting it if you have dark brown eyes. Um, because it's pigment that, that pigment um, starts clogging up the channel that drains, um, a channel that drains, like, all that stuff, drains the pigment, and it gets clogged up in that channel, and then it puts pressure on your optic nerve. And but for the most part, in general, they don't know what causes it. Like, because mine, I have no family history of it or anything, and they just happened. I was just going for an eye appointment, regular eye appointment that they have every year, annual, and suddenly it says you have glaucoma. In 2013 is when that was discovered. And the funny thing is, like, there were things that were happening with my vision but I didn't think of it as my vision. That's a weird thing. And that's what's so weird about glaucoma, is that they say that by the time you, like, if you weren't going to an eye doctor, by the time you catch it, it's like it's too late. You basically are, a lot of people wind up just being blind. And that's actually what's happened to this influencer. She's lost a significant amount of sight in one eye. Well, in both eyes, actually, but one is like a little bit better than the other one. Um, and why did I say that? Go get your eyes checked. That's why I say that. Get your eyes checked. Don't sleep on it. Get your eyes checked regularly. Because if I hadn't been going to the eye doctor, like, I didn't start wearing glasses till when? Till, like, I don't know. So, like, 40 or something like that, just reading glasses. Um, and I don't know, it just happened out of nowhere. Like I said, I just was going for a regular eye appointment. So maybe I need new glasses, whatever. And it's like, nope, you have glaucoma. So now I take eye drops twice a day. One set in the evening, two sets at night. And I have to take them to keep my eyesight. And very thankful. I love my eye doctor. He's so cool. But there's something else I wanted to say about that too. Oh yeah, so watching this particular YouTuber influencer, it really just impacted me again. Like, how I mean, I'm really sad for her, and I actually praying for her healing, and praying for mine too, actually, because like I said, I really want to drive at night. That's something else that I don't even know what that comes from. I don't even know if that has anything. It might have a little to do with the glaucoma. It might have a lot to do with it. Who knows? There's a lot they don't know about it. But I'm really thankful that I didn't lose um, a significant amount of eyesight, so that I can't, can't drive, can't this, can't the other. Um, and I'm very thankful to the Lord for the eye doctor that I have. They actually, um, I actually got my cataracts removed from my eyes, and I got it done like when I was relatively young because, and he made it work. He made it happen with insurance and everything because he he's very much on the forefront of research and stuff on eyes and eye conditions, and he wanted me to get these tubes in my eyes that would help drain pigment because he knew it would help um, decrease. He knew it would help me keep my vision longer, basically. Um, and it wasn't something that was yet approved for glaucoma treatment and maintenance, but he kind of knows things, and he's like, well, it's not, but it should be. And you got to wait for all these regulations and things for it to happen. So I did actually have cataracts, and that's a funny thing with cataracts. I had no idea um, what I was not seeing until, or how I was seeing things until I had my cataracts removed. And then I was like, oh my gosh. It's like before everything was yellow before. It was really weird. But I was also the youngest person in there, and every nurse kept saying that. Everybody that was coming to prep me, the doctors that were assisting or whatever, all of them, they're like, because they had to check and recheck because they got to make sure that they do the proper procedure for the proper person and do the proper eye, and all that kind of stuff. So they have several people coming around you several times, um, asking you your name, asking your date of birth, asking you what you're here for, asking you which eye, asking this, that, and the other. And every time somebody came over to me, they looked at me and they're like, "You're the youngest person in here." Like it was so funny. It was just a joke to the point where, like, eventually I started saying to them, "I know I'm the youngest person in here." It was funny. It was quick too. Oh my gosh, the way so many procedures these days have advanced to where they don't take much time at all. And like Jean, I don't know if you're still in here, but in talking, if you are, just a word to you about your the knee replacement. Let me tell you, the way they do things these days, it's like it seems like it is nothing like things were even 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, definitely. But probably in many ways, even 5 years ago. My husband had his hip replaced. What, like, is it almost like 3 years ago now? Man, that was like so systematic and like boom, 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 boom. Nothing like it used to be. Like, it used to be like, when I was in my 30s, even that, when we heard like, oh, somebody, a relative or friend or customer or whatever was going to have a hip replacement, it was like, okay, me like hardcore praying because it seemed like every time somebody had a hip replacement, that was it. Okay, it could go either way, but there's a chance because of I guess because of the whole issue of pneumonia and fluid filling up in the lungs and stuff from having to lay down Child, they have you up and walking like they had my husband walking like the same day. I mean, everything happened in a day. We were there in a day and home in a day. That was it. It was just all one day of all this stuff. They send you home with all this stuff that you have to do. Um, they have you doing that breathing thing that they have to do a certain amount of times per hour or half hour or whatever, so that keeps the lungs clear, which was like the main thing that used to be an issue back in the day. That was what would happen with people with hip replacements. Their lungs would fill with fluid and then all of a sudden pneumonia and they're gone. No, it was, I mean, everything was just like, it was crazy, like how it was wonderful too, like how they just have everything down, like they've solved all those problems, all those things that made it difficult. It's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. I was just amazed, and my cataract surgery was like that too. And the machine they use, it was like 2 seconds. And I was waiting for the surgery, right? I'm waiting for them, and I'm lying there, and he goes like, okay, well, we're gonna put this over your eye and whatever, and you're going to feel this, or basically you don't feel anything, but it's like a little pressure or something, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. I was waiting for the surgery after they had done it. And there's like, okay, so we're going to take you. I was like, wait a minute, take me out? What do you mean take me out? They're like, it's done. I says, it's done. That was it? It was like, so I mean, they really, so I'm pretty sure, like with knee replacement, it's the same thing. That they are on top of it. They know the things that they've worked out, um, worked in certain things to do that rule out the things that used to happen when people had those procedures. So, um, yeah, so you don't have to be scared, and I'll be praying for you for that you get good people around you for it. But yeah, it's like a new day with this stuff, and I pray we keep going in that direction, and people see, cause still keep getting that education to learn how to do good things better, cause it's not like the old days, and I don't want it to go back to the old days. People need good care to live long. Well, my nose is getting all stuffed up. And it's still snowing. Just in case anybody wondered. I'm sure you didn't, but yeah, it's still snowing. That's so dark. Oh, yeah. So my one tip of the day: get your eyes checked. Cause you know what? I don't know if you watch anybody who watched Good Times. With Jimmy Walker. He lost his eyesight due to glaucoma, and the thing was, his had been diagnosed. They told him, you need to take these drops. You need to take them every day. It's no joke. If you don't take these drops, you will lose your eyesight. He was like, yeah, okay, whatever. He didn't take his drops. He poo-pooed it. He goes, like, I can see fine. I'm doing okay. And then every day he's seeing a little less and doesn't realize it. That's the thing with glaucoma, because I had lost eyesight. I had lost some peripheral vision and did not realize it. I had some situations where I was turning a corner. This one particular corner I have to turn to get to my house and to get to my home. And it seemed like every time I turned down that street, it seemed like I was hitting like the shoulder in the pothole. I'm like, what the heck? And I had no idea that actually was because I had lost peripheral vision. But you don't realize it because your brain keeps adjusting for what you lost. So it happens without you realizing it. And the only way to detect it is by the tests that they do at the whoever it is. What is it? Ophthalmologist. That's the only way they'll find that it can be found. The only way. Because even when people ask me, like, well, what does having glaucoma do? And I can't even quite explain it. It's just that you don't have any more you lose your peripheral vision, because you lose your vision from the outside going in. It creeps. And I know that something had happened with my sensitivity to light, but sensitivity to light can be because of a lot of things. So it's not necessarily a thing of glaucoma. It can be because of cataracts, for one, and it can be because of other things too. And my doctor said something about, I don't know, he said some kind of name or something, and some kind of cloudiness or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird too when you look online. The only place to go, really, I don't know. Sometimes those places don't make any sense that talk about it. And they didn't help me. What helped me was my doctor. That was it. My eye doctor. Whew, that might have been too much, but I like how that did that streak there. I'm using Gamsol. So it's just like, I don't know. I just started using it and I didn't even explain what I was doing, but just trying to blend, I guess. And I like how that makes it go around. So yeah, so obviously these things like Gamsol, because it is moving it a little bit. Hey, Ivy Pearl. Time to 154. You know how having an appointment in a day like really seems to like kind of eat away at your day. I guess that's what happened, because all of a sudden it's almost 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Let me do this even with a different crayon. I need to fill in that spot. See, I really want a day to be able to tear up this room and find some things and reorganize the boxes, so things that I know I really need now are closer to me. And I want to find a better sketchbook. I want a bigger sketchbook to do my sketching for the year in. But it's not in a box that's on top of boxes. It's in a box that's underneath boxes. And this would have been a good day to do it, because my husband's not really working in the bathroom, but that's because he was gone. And then I was gone too, so I wasn't here to do that. Oh, excuse me. Gotta blow my nose. I'm gonna mute because it's probably not gonna be pretty. And I'm stuffy. And speaking of new contraptions, I think I was talking about this before I left, because I heard that my husband was home. My dentist, my new dental hygienist, she's got contraptions, boy. It's They're kind of weird, but I guess I'm kind of used to it after the second time now. But child, my whole face gets wet up from the stuff she uses. I guess I'm just used to it now. This is the second time. I was like, oh, I'm like, whatever. It says, I'm just hoping it's not all splashing you, because that would gross me out. But, I don't know. It's like she has this sonic thing or whatever that, ooh, that's in the wrong spot, isn't it? I can't tell. She has like the sonic thing that I guess, instead of, like scraping your teeth to get rid of the plaque, she uses a sonic thing. And I don't know if she's using it because I have braces, or because, that's all. I've only been to her since I've had braces, so I don't know if she's using it because of that or what. But it seems like it's this thing that has a tiny point on it or whatever, and it's like zzz, 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 which, like, if you don't like getting it's almost like the sound of when you get a tooth drilled or whatever, I guess. And it seems like whatever it is pointed, and it could be like a little bit irritating if you thought about it. But I just try not to think about it. Um, and you would need something really small to get like in between the braces and things. So that's why I think maybe it's something that she uses because I have braces. But so she uses that thing, and then I don't know. She didn't really do too much scraping at all. Like, not at all, really. Just behind just a couple teeth. She did a little bit with the little hook thing. Oh, forgive me if you don't like dentists. Sorry. So you're talking about the dentist, and some people don't like dentists. Going to the dentist. But so I'm thinking that whatever that was did most of the work for her, but she was using it for a long time. And at the same time, she puts the thing in my mouth to like suck up the, saliva and whatever. And it has like some kind of barrier thing on it to kind of try and keep the saliva away. Well, I don't know how much that worked because everything she was doing with that thing, it kept making water spray everywhere. And it's like, oh, that's really gross, but I'm not going to think about it because I got to sit here. And it is doing something good. And it is my face, my spit. So I was then more concerned for her. And she doesn't wear, it doesn't seem like it. Unless maybe I didn't notice. She didn't wear a full face mask or anything. So I was like, oh, how can you do this? That's my spit. It's probably going in your face. That's gross. So then I had to not think about that. But then I'm like, well, if it's not bothering you, I guess I shouldn't let it bother me. Oh, she's really nice though. Her and the dentist are really nice. We had a conversation afterwards, a long one, and it turns out now that oops, I want to go to. They can do the prosthesis for my implant. So now I know that when I'm ready for that, I can have my oral surgeon contact them, which is cool. And I can go right there. I don't have to go to another, nearby city or town to get it done. I can get it done right here at home. So in my city. So I'm happy about that. And then my hygienist also told me that she says, I don't know, like sometimes like orthodontists don't really tell you this or anything, but she said she was scheduled my next teeth cleaning, and she said if you get your braces off like anywhere like near here or whatever, she goes just like cancel this appointment and schedule it closer to schedule it for when your braces are off, because she says you're going to want to have your teeth cleaned after you get your braces off anyway. You're going to need to have your teeth cleaned after your braces are off to get everything that's under, what it looks like underneath, like. And so yeah, so just make sure it's for then. So if it's like, say I scheduled you for 6 months and you get your braces off in 7 months, then call us and change the appointment, cancel this one and make it for whenever, whatever. So that was cool. That was a good heads up. Because I already know I'm going to be traumatized when I get my braces off and see my teeth. You know, I've heard stories, and like I'm already traumatized after eating and can't look at my teeth. So I guess underneath they say they're all yellowed and everything compared. I don't know if I should do this here, but I'm gonna. I don't know. I have to clean it up. I might need to use pencil there. Oh, brother. White out again. It was one of them days. I don't know. They might even wind up canceling the thing for. I may have to meet via Zoom tomorrow. Which is not what I wanted, because I'm a buddy. Colleague at work. He has a gorgeous cat. Oh my gosh. I figure out how to do the eyes. I wasn't consistent with how I did the color here. I'm going to do that. And what else? So I think, is today the day that Deb goes live? Let me double check. Because if today is, what time is it? Yeah, it's 2:04. Let me double check. Because if she's live, I'm going to go right now. I have to write down somehow. I have to make the time to put it down when people usually come on because I just have too much stuff in my head and I forget. Let me double check. Yep, she's live. Okay. So I'm actually going to end this live so I can go watch Deb. Let me see if I can. Can I share it? 1 second. Let me. Okay. This is where I'm going to. I may or may not be in the chat because I'm probably going to run around the house and do some things, put in a load of laundry and stuff too. But this is where I'm going to Deb Hauk's page. And so I think Foxy Colorist is coming on tonight, so I'll be there. And thank you for spending time with me and hearing me ramble about weather, dentists, and things like that. Have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.